Hello everyone, it's me, Noctua Early, and I think I have everything set up here. Okay, so, if you want a good explanation of what I'll be doing today, I will be taking all of the lovely people that I've got down here and making up a Smash Bros. Style moveset for them, and then ranking them and ranking them based off of a hypothetical how good they would be. So how I'll mostly be going about this is, since I have no like drawing or animation reference to go off of, I'll mostly just be describing their moves and referencing them to moves that already exist in Smash Bros. Because I feel like that's the best way to go about this type of list. So I'm mostly going to be going in alphabetical order, because some of these are a lot easier and harder to do just based off of their designs, because for some designs, you immediately got a lot to work with, and for others, you just have nothing to work with. So, I'm gonna be starting off with... let me pull up the tweet. Starting with the tentacle monster first. Abigail Wheatley, right here. So I'm gonna pull up her full image so that you can see that. Let me put this over here. So, as you can see, she's got the multiple eyes thing going on, a shit ton of tentacles. There's a lot to work with here. I think this is one of the easier movesets to come up with, and like 90% of it is going to revolve around the tentacles. Like, I just think that's the most obvious place to take it. So, first, the easy ones out of the way. Forward smash would be her tentacles pulling back and multiplying out, and when you release it, they all slam forward. For this one, the more tentacles that get pulled out while the animation is loading, the more damage and knockback it will do. It'll basically just be a normal forward smash, but with a more unique looking animation, essentially. After that, her down smash would also be the tentacles, but just two big ones flopping down to either side of her. Your typical down smash. Her up smash would be the tentacles lifting her up off the ground and also punching into the air at the same time, so that you get extra height and still go hit the enemies. Now, where things get interesting is with the special moves, of course. So for her up B, she's gonna have a tether grab using the tentacles as to grab onto the ledge. And for her neutral B, I'm thinking of a very unique neutral B. It's going to be a command grab, but it's a command grab that only goes behind her. Now we have plenty of command grabs in Smash, but none that have that kind of property. So to make up for it being very hard to use typically, because you wouldn't reach behind you most of the time, it'll be one of the stronger command grabs, and it will have pretty good distance to it. And then for her side B, I would give her a move that's similar to Chun-Li's, oh hi Avery, what's up? For her side B, I would think of giving her something along the lines of Chun-Li's spinning helicopter kick, where she goes upside down But instead of doing that, it's with her like facing downwards with the tentacles, helicoptering her across the stage for a short period of time. I call it the tentacle saucer. And then that's neutral B, side B, and up B. Down B I think is the hardest one to think of, because down B for every character is always kind of random. It's just kind of a toss-up on what it's going to be. But for... oh, what was her name again? For Abigail's down B, I was thinking something along the lines of Mewtwo's Disable, where it's basically the same move as Mewtwo? Yeah. As Mewtwo's Disable, where it stuns the opponent for a short amount of time once they get hit by it. And after that, I think that's all of her moveset, other than like aerials and normals, which I'm not really going to go over aerials and normals unless I think they're worth going over, because most of the time it's just going to be like, oh, they do a little low sweep for their down tilt, and they do like a high sweep for their up tilt. Like, it's not really that interesting. So, hello Nino! I'll be doing you way later, because we're doing these alphabetically. But I'm thinking that because of Abigail's power output, she would probably be one of the slower characters. And because of being a slower character and having no projectile moves, she would probably end up in low mid-tier overall in a competitive sense. Now this is a character that I've been thinking about this character a lot, because as you can tell, they're based off of a chess piece. And you might be thinking, Noctua, are you just going to have the entire character basically be if chess was a Smash Bros. Character? And my answer is yes, obviously. You think I can't make a Smash character just out of chess? Because I will. I will gladly make a chess Smash character. In the same way I'd do it for Tetris. So, for... I think her name is Atticus? I'm horrible with names, so I'm going to have to look up like every single name I use here. And where did it? Okay, yeah, Atticus Kaisa. One day I'll be good with names, probably not, but so first, to get her normals out of the way. Down air would be her transforming her lower half into a pawn and then spiking. Up air would be similar to Kate Rule's up air, where it's just kind of pointing her head upwards, but with her head transforming into a rook as she does it. And now to get into the main gimmick of the character, because with her down B will be similar to Cloud's limit gauge, but instead of it charging a limit, it charges what type of piece she is. As you start the game, you start as a pawn. Then when the meter is fully charged, you become a knight, then a bishop, then a rook, then a queen, then a king. The trick is, the king isn't the best one. The king is arguably worse than the bishop, rook, and queen. So the queen is the one that you want to stay on. But as the match progresses, it charges over time. But with your down B, you can choose to speed up the charge. So you want to hit a sweet spot where you don't just go to queen immediately, because then you'll get stuck with king for way longer than you'd have to. You instead want to go to bishop or rook and stay there for a while before going to queen. So, for her neutral B, I'm thinking of a counter. And that counter specifically is based off of a normal counter you would do in chess, where the counter starts with a pawn jumping in front of her. If that pawn gets hit and destroyed, the pawn will evaporate and the person who hit him will take a ton of damage. This is to reference how it's a normal chess play to sacrifice a pawn in order to bait your opponent into killing it so that you can kill a more valuable piece of theirs. Then for her side B, this is where I bring up her special helper, a disembodied hand. This disembodied hand will show up for her side B, her side B, her up B, her grab, and her parry animation. Because for her parry animation, instead of her having an animation for it, instead the hand will just like collapse around her in kind of a hand cage. You've all done the hand cage before, right? Put it over the hand cage. So, and for her grab, instead of having her grab, the hand grabs them and does the throws with the disembodied hand. That's the person playing chess. And furthermore, the hand also comes into play for her up B, where depending on what mode she's in, the hand will lift her up in a certain fashion. For pawn mode, it will lift up diagonally for a very short distance. With knight mode, it will do the knight motion. And with bishop, it will do diagonally a long distance. Rook, it will go straight up a long distance. With queen, you can just choose wherever you're going. And with king, you'll choose wherever you're going, but for a shorter distance than the queen. So as you would expect from a chess piece. And then following from that, her side B is similar, but different to how it moves across, because for her side B, you'll always be going to the left or right, depending on how you input it, and you'll just be getting picked up and slammed down onto the ground, like a chess piece. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with chess. Just chess as a moveset concept. Yeah, that's just one of the first ones that when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I can make a moveset out of that. And overall, because she wouldn't have amazing movement, I think she'd go into mid-tier. Like, a little better than Abigail because she has better movement and better kill output depending on what mode you're in, but overall, still mid-tier. Now it's time for Avery. So, for Avery, I have a little more to work off of than other people because she's made a comic, and I know more about her, so I know more about, like, her forms of magic. But I'm still gonna make up some stuff just because making up some stuff is fun. So for up smash, I'm thinking a book with teeth as a burp lore. Thanks, Avery. So I'm thinking she throws up a book. The book is a biter. The book is a bitey book, and it chomps on anything above it. For her side smash, I don't remember his name, but the turtle guy in her comic, I think it's Khan, she would just use him the same way Banjo uses Kazooie in his forward smash, just slamming him into the ground. And then down smash would be a unique down smash from most, where instead of it being like a kill move, it's more of a protect move, where she's summoning two piles of books to slam down. It's very, like, right next to her, and it's a very thin but tall pile of books. So it'll slam down right next to her, and it'll form a wall for a decent period of time so that you can't deal damage to her. So, most of her aerials would be normal except for her back air, which would have her summoning one of the dragon things that was in her comic. Let me see if I can get that up real quick, because I have to find anything in here. In her comic, she had like dragons in her library, and I would use that as a point of... Okay, here it is. Ooh, how can I show this? I'll just put this over here for now. So you see these things? These are what I'm talking about. This would come out of her back as and chomp down as an attack. Let's put this back. Those would also be used for her side B though, because her side B would be summoning. It would kind of be like Greninja's side B, where you see a shadow in the ground, and when the shadow is released, the head of one of those dragons comes out and chomps. And for her neutral B, I'm thinking wind magic, because nothing goes better with book mages than wind magic. Just fits the best, I feel like. So she would summon a little gust of wind with papers in them, and then if you get hit by it, it pushes you upward, then with good combo potential. And then her up B would just be flying upwards. Kind of easy to tell where she's going, and you can hit her out of it if you know what you're doing. And down B. What did I think of for down B? Oh yeah, I think that was like a different type of magic. Oh yeah, down B was a book projectile. So you pull it out, and it can be one of 3 types of books: fire, electric, and ice. And once you pull it out, it's basically used as an item, and you can throw it, and it does specific types of damage when it hits, but those damages don't really come into effect until later on, because the fire would have more kill power, the ice has a chance of freezing you, and the electric does more damage. That's what it was. So overall, I think Avery would either be here or here. I think the only thing stopping her from being high tier is that her air speed would be a little slower because of her up B. So overall, high mid tier. Now this one is one of the harder ones for me, because I basically am just going off of fish. Where is he? Okay. Karias. Let's get him over here. Get this photo over here. Oh no, that's not the right photo. How do I do this? Oh yeah. Here we go, this photo. So, all I have to work on is fish. Fish and a hoodie. So that means I get to make up a bunch of shit. So, I think I'm going to use a tether recovery for this character as well, but with a string of fish that he just throws out to hit the ledge. Doesn't do any damage when it hits you, but it's a fun string of goldfish. Normal B would be probably just... Oh yeah, I had a collection mechanic with this character where when you use down B, he collects fish by fishing into the earth. He can just summon pools of water and fish into the earth. He pulls out the fish. The more he gets, the more ammo he has for other attacks. Like, it's kind of like Steve's mining mechanic, where depending on what fish you get, you have better resources for later on. Because if you get like a shark, then you can do a lot more damage with your neutral bee than if you have like a goldfish or salmon. And it would go through like 6 or 7 different fish that you can get. So that would be his down bee. His side bee would be swimming, if it were, but it's more of a summoning water in his path and then sliding across it. Just a good old summon the water, slide across it, hit anything in the way. Hard to interrupt. It's a move that's specifically harder to interrupt. And then everything else I think would just revolve around hitting stuff with fish. As I said, I don't have much to work off of with this one, so this one was one of the harder ones to make up a moveset for. But I think overall, because of the tether recovery would make you think he's here, but with the movement option of side B, I'd say mid-tier. Next up, we have, where is he? Oh, down more. Here he is. Phantom Fuhai. So, for the Phantom here, as you can probably tell, most of it is going to revolve around the scythe. The aerials are going to be him scything this way and then scything this way for the back air. The up air and down air though, I would actually have him use this end of his side, the bottom end, to poke upward and stab downward for the up and down air, respectively. So, other than that, I also had a Shadow Sneak style sorry, my mind just kind of cuts off randomly sometimes, but for his side B, I had a Shadow Sneak style command grab in mind, where a dark spot on the floor will travel across the stage, and when it releases, it will have hands, the hands of the damned, pull up and try to grab who's ever over the hole. And once you get grabbed by that, it holds you in there for quite a while, because most of the time people aren't going to be on the ground, so it's not going to hit very often, so the reward is pretty good for hitting with it. After that, I would have his down B kind of be like a Byleth's down B, but instead of it being a huge hit, it would be an insta-kill over 100, because that's, oh god damn it, emails, but it would be an insta-kill once you hit over 100 if you can hit with it. It would be a hard move to hit. It would most likely have to be after a shield break. For his neutral B, I was thinking Explosive Rose. This would be a rose that he conjures up. It's like a blackened out rose. He throws it, after a few seconds, it explodes. I'd say this would work pretty much identically to Snake's grenades. They would basically just be snake grenades, but with roses. And for the up B, he would be picked up by the dead hands and brought closer to the stage. Overall, because of the wackier kit he has, I would say Well, two of his moves are basically useless, so I have to put him here, or here. One of those two. The tiers are always subject to change, by the way, as I put more people on, because tier lists are basically just from the perspective of comparing them to each other. So as I put more on here, I might realize like, I should put this person up, or I should put this person down. So next up is Fen, I think. Fen, where are you? I have them all in a list here. Oh, there it is. Fen, yeah. So for Fen, this is another one that I didn't have much to work with. So you see this tiny little plant up here? I have multiple moves just centered around that plant. So for her up smash, the plant would it would just be her holding her nose and then holding her breath, and the plant would expand outward and be like a hitbox. It would just expand out, hitbox. And also, the plant would also be her up B, and have it be a tether grab, with the plant holding her onto the ledge. But I think that one, basically like Ivysaur's, but with a little less kill power, it would instead be more of a grappling thing. After that, I did not have much planned for this one, because I have very little to work off of. But she is a ferret. So, basing it off of a ferret, I'm thinking a dash attack with running claws, and her side B would be a dash attack with running out, clawing, and running past the person she hits, and it kind of being like a delayed launch for the person that gets hit, in a way. And for neutral B, it would be, I basically made her a plant mancer. I don't know what those are called, plant mancing. That's a thing. But for her down B, she would summon plants from below the ground, and it goes up right in front of her. Oh god, my foot's asleep now. And for her neutral B, it would be, I did not think of a neutral B beforehand. Oh god, what's that? Google Assist, shut up. And her neutral B would also be, her neutral B would be a frisbee. I don't know why, but I think she'd go well with a frisbee. So I'm just having her throw out a frisbee. If it hits someone, it kind of bounces off of them and hits the ground for a chance to pick it up again and use it as an item. But if it goes off stage, it just kind of goes away, and you'll be able to use the neutral B again after like a few seconds of it being gone. Hurrah! I think high mid tier, because she would have good momentum, good speed, bad recovery, but enough movement potential to get over that recovery. So next we have Floof. I think it's Floof, right? Yeah, it's Floof. So for Floof, you might be thinking, oh, you're gonna go with like the fox thing, the fox cat. Yeah, it's a cat, for the cat thing. But there's really not much you can go off of with animals outside of just scratching and stuff. So I went all in on the maid outfit. I'm not sure if she's supposed to be a maid, but I'm making her a maid because she has a maid outfit. So for her neutral B, it would be throwing plates. For her side B, her side B, it would be kind of kind of like Wario's cart in a way, but instead of it being a motorcycle, it would be a laundry cart. She rides on the laundry cart for a distance, lets go of it, or she just rides with it and bashes herself on it. And as it goes, she'll let go and let it just be a projectile. Up B would be a cat pounce. That's where I put in the cat stuff, where she would pounce upwards onto the ledge pretty fast, but doesn't have a hitbox on it, so not amazing. And then for down B, what did I put for down B? Because I did think of something. Well, maybe I didn't think of something. I kept getting hung up on like a vacuum cleaner, but I was like, how do I use a vacuum cleaner as like an attack? Like the vacuum cleaner is too slow, that's not an attack. Oh yeah, I think I went with something. No, but I used that for a different character. I used that idea for Nino. For like icing up the floor. Yeah. I think for down B would mostly be like a leaping attack, I feel. Yeah. It's hard to describe, but it would mostly just be a leap forward, try and grab someone with it, kind of thing. The main quirks about this character is her movement speed, and the cart being a really big hitbox because it's a laundry cart and it's pretty huge but kind of slow. But overall, I think either high mid-tier or mid-tier. I'm gonna put her here for now. I might put Avery up later. Now for this little guy. It's our little guy. Oh, where is he? Where is he on my list? Oh, he's like all the way at the bottom. Fukuro! Fukuro Okuyo. Now this little guy. I didn't have much to work with, but he says he's magical. I don't know how he's magical, but he says he has magic in some way. Here's the full thing, if you want to see him. Look at this little guy. So, definitely will benefit from having a smaller hitbox, because the smaller your hitbox is, the harder you are to hit, the harder you are to hit, the harder you are to kill. So you would benefit from that a lot. The main attack I mostly thought of was just like him having a little roll. Like his dash attack would just be a roll. And I don't think he would have multiple jumps. I think he would only have 2 jumps, no more. And you see, I didn't know what type of magic he has, so I'm just gonna go with him having fire magic, because I remember him having one tweet of him showing a gif with fire, so he now has fire magic until proven otherwise. So because of that, Flamethrower Breath Neutral B, like way less powerful version of Bowser's, just kind of being a little one, a little Flamethrower Breath. For side B, he would send out a long-lasting fireball. It would just be like a slow-moving projectile that lasts longer. His up B would just be boosting up with his little feet. Like he just has jet boosters out of his little feet and boosts up. Not having a hitbox on the top of it, but instead having a hitbox on the bottom. So if you use it on someone while they're below you, it can be a spike, and it'll just shoot them down, you up. Kind of like Meat Gunner's up B. One of Meat Gunner's up B's are like that. And then I think that's all of his specials, isn't it? No, there's still down B. But for down B, I think down B would be like a little, like a fire worm. I don't know why, but when I think of this guy, I think he would have like a little worm companion. Not sure. He just has a little worm companion that he sends out. It's more of a fast-moving projectile, and it goes well with the other fire projectile that he has. His only downside is that I think he would have middling speed, like not amazing speed, but not horrible speed. So I think overall he'd be here, and I'm moving Avery up here. Yeah, I think this makes more sense. Yeah, I think this is a good rep of what we have right now. Next up, we have the Money Man, Huntaria, whatever. The day I learn how to speak is the day I die. So, he's a CEO. He be looking nasty. Let's get his photo out here. Boop. You look at that face, you see a gambler. So, his down B, his main gimmick will center around his down B. That being Joker's Luck. He pulls from a deck, and that will affect his stats for a certain amount of time. A heart, depending on what he gets, he'll either get increased speed, increased attack power, increased defense, or increased knockback. And there's a 1 in 53 chance that he pulls a Joker card. If he pulls that, he gets all 4 advanced right then and there. He gets to have all 4 benefits at once. So this character mostly relies on trying to draw to see if you can get that, or trying to draw and see if you can get the stat upgrade that you're wanting. It'd be like Shulk's stat upgrades, except they aren't fully in your control, so they last a lot longer and have a decent more amount of power to them, because they're basically thrusts upon you. Now for most of his attacks, I'm thinking things that revolve around money, because his side smash would just be like a bag of money hitting you with it, and because he's the CEO and that's what they do. CEOs are the money men. So, to emphasize on that, I think side B sends out a car. It sends out a car in a direction. If it hits you, it would mostly just skid across the ground, and if you do it in the air, it would come out of you and then immediately try and reach the ground. And when it does hit the ground, it would end in an explosion. So it has varying utility based off of where you are and how you use it, depending on if you're in the air or on the ground. So that's a very versatile move. And that's both of them. For up B, helicopter lift. He gets onto a helicopter with the rope, lifts him up for a certain distance, then he jumps off. Easy to knock him off of it, but the helicopter is not easy to kill. You basically just have to go for him and not the helicopter. The helicopter is just a distraction. Then, yeah, I think that's all of them, except neutral B. But neutral B would basically just be a projectile move that changes based off of what card stat you have equipped at the time. If you have nothing, it's just a normal throw. If you have, it's a normal card throw. If you have the stat increases, the card throw is emphasized by those increases. And the gimmick here is that at his life icon, you can see his deck, but it's face down, and it has the amount. It always starts with 53 at the beginning of a match, and it will cycle through that until he runs out of cards, and then it will get reshuffled and put back. So if you're paying attention to what cards he throws, you can tell what stat increases he's more likely to get and how close he is to having the Joker. So overall, with all that chance going into it and the utility of stat increases, I think he's probably high tier. Either here or here. One of those two. Definitely high tier, maybe top tier. He might reach into top tier if we don't get anyone else here. Except spoilers, I'm gonna be up there. So next we have Jack Rabbit. Where's one of them? This one I'm gonna have a bit of fun with. Because, I mean, first of all, forward smash has gotta be an American flag with a pole that's made out of a long-ass carrot. If that is not something you already do, Jackrabbit, highly recommend. I am just giving you a character design there. Just use that as your normal weapon. An American flag with a carrot as the pole. He would mostly be using that for like all of his normals. And then of course, most of the specials would revolve around, like, instead of an up B being a normal up B, it would instead be a rocket jump. That kind of TF2 style rocket jump, where he shoots a rocket down and that boosts him upward. If you get hit by the rocket, you're obviously probably gonna die from getting spiked or just take a lot of damage. Neutral B would be a gun. Like, you gotta give the American the guns. Like, that's what America is. So just give him some good gun games. For the neutral B, I'm thinking of a specific gun move where it's kind of like Banjo-Kazooie's, but instead of you going into first-person shooter mode, instead you go into turret mode, where once you hit neutral B, it locks you into place until you shield or dodge, and once you're locked into place, you can aim well, it would mostly be like 180 degrees around you, because you'd be flat on a stage, but you could aim 130 degrees if you want to shoot the ground. But there would be some utility into shooting downwards if you're on the ledge and shooting down at an enemy. And for the side B, carrot boomerang. I want a good carrot boomerang. There. It's just two carrots, staple, like glued together, like very obviously taped. I want the two carrots very obviously taped, and he just throws. Oh wait, no, why boomerang? Have it be a football to match America. Have carrot football. Just a big ass carrot that has football lines drawn on it that he just throws. It does a good amount of damage. And yeah, that's it. This does a good amount of damage. Overall, I think this would be high mid tier, maybe high tier, if we need to put more people up there later. Ooh, now for the tiny cat. JT Battle. Oh, I don't know much about the tiny cat, but he looking sad. Here he is. Look at the small cat. He's so sad. So for him, obviously, small hitbox, very good. When he's running on all fours, you're almost never going to be able to hit him, unless you have an attack that's striking downward. Very cat-like moveset of just like pouncing upward for the up B, scratching for both the grab and the neutral B. Yeah. the side B would be kind of like Diddy Kong's command grab, where depending on what you do with it, it'll either be a command grab or it will just be like a normal attack. And then for the down B, he throws off the hoodie and then jumps back into it. Like, it's kind of a disorientation move where he throws it off, hits the enemy with it, then pounces back into it through the enemy, doing a good amount of damage to him and setting up for combos. That would mostly be a combo tool. This character would mostly rely on normals, kind of like a Pikachu style character, where you're mostly relying on forward air, back air, because most of those would be clawing or flipping around to combo into more flipping around. But without having any good projectiles, because I don't know what I would give this character as a projectile, probably just... I think this is right. Maybe here. I think this is right so far. Yeah, I think this is good so far. Because, obviously since I'm basing this character mostly off of Pikachu, since he doesn't have a good projectile like Thunder Jolt, he would be up here easily if he did, but since he doesn't, he mostly stays down here. Ooh, next is the Succubus. I always fuck up saying this name. Calista Lape. Calista. Yes. This one was kind of hard for me to think of, but the first thing I thought of was just having her mostly rely on draining as her main gimmick, because she's a succubus, and thus having all of her attacks do little damage but heal her slightly seems like a logical fit for that. You can also see elsewhere that she does have a scythe, so I'd be using that for her smash attacks and her aerials, because claws aren't too versatile when they're just by themselves. Yeah, this character would mostly rely on draining skills, and thusly wouldn't have amazing damage output, but would have amazing healing output. Sorry, because these two, like, I thought of a lot of the same ideas because they share so much aesthetically. Because I was thinking like, oh yeah, for a scythe you have the insta-kill move, but I have two scythe characters and I don't want to give them both the same move. So, I don't know what to do with Callista. I thought of a final smash for her that would be funny, which is just like her grabbing someone and then the rest needing to be censored until the attack's done, but for her actual attack, I'm thinking definitely a multi-jump character. She can jump multiple times. Witch time for down B. I think she'd have witch time for down B. Neutral B would be an it would be a heart. She'd blow a kiss. It would be a heart that moves slowly, that you should be able to avoid unless thrown into it. And once you get hit by it, you get stunned for a momentary period of time, in which she can hit and kill you. And side B would be I cannot think of a good side B other than like Wolf's side B. No, that would fit her well though, like using her wings to do a big claw attack. Yeah, that would work well. overall, I think with her draining property, I think she would be up here, the high mid tier. I might have to move Fen down at some point, but that's fine. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. I'm probably only gonna do half of this today, because my voice is already killing me, because most of the time when I stream, I'm not just talking constantly. There's normally like breakup points where I'm not talking, so this is kind of hard for me. Next is Cass. Let's see Cass here. Here he is. Wait, is it he? Wait, is it they? There they are. Fuck. I'm sorry, I'm horrible with that. Here they are. Cass is a fish. Fish. Oh, they're a fish, right? Fish and or reptile. So, overall, I'd give them a trident, because with this Atlantic style fish person, you always give them a trident. But they also have this little pouch down here, which makes me think they have a knife. So I'm also giving them a knife. I don't know if their design actually has a knife, but it does now. You're welcome, Cass. Just gave you a knife to play with. So, for all of his normals, he'd use the trident and the knife. For the neutral bee, I would have it be kind of like Squirtle's. Oh, what? Stream current bitrate. Oh no. Shut up. Oh, my stream's going bad for some reason, but whatever. That should be fine for now. So, for Cass's neutral bee, it would be similar to Squirtle's, except it would, instead of needing to be charged up, it would just always be ready, but it would be a much shorter burst. And, well, it wouldn't always be ready. There would be a little meter at the bottom that's like a water tank meter, kind of like Inkling's ink meter. Cass will have a water tank meter where for down B, you need to submerge yourself in the water and pick up all the water tank. And all of his attack, like almost all of his attacks, are enhanced when you do have water to use, whereas when you don't have water to use, they move around very sickly and just kind of like sludging about, unable to do much. So, with that in mind, this character is mostly revolved around keeping your water intact. But I also think he would be a very slow character, though that's very unlike Inkling. And their up B would be like a dolphin jump, like how a dolphin jumps out of the water, except it starts with them throwing their trident upwards, and wherever the trident sticks, they dolphin jump to it. But if the trident doesn't stick anywhere, it just goes a certain distance within the same direction that the trident went. But overall, with the slowness, I think he'd be about here. Yeah, Cass would be about here with how slow they are and how with how much they rely on constantly collecting water. So next up is, where are they? Here we go. Kotomi. Kotomi was definitely one of the hardest ones. Like, all I have to work with is cat. Cat is very hard. Like, cat girl is very little to go off of. So, there she is, and oh, why did I close that? God damn it. I'm almost halfway through though. Once I hit the halfway point, which is Princess Kunya, I'm going to probably stop the stream for either today and then pick this up tomorrow, or maybe later today when my throat heals up, because I was not expecting my throat to just give out like this so easily. I thought my throat would last a little longer. But Kotomi is the one that I mostly just centered around being a cat. So, the way the character would work is just basic normals with punches and kicks. And then for specials, having kind of like a falcon punch sort of move, where it's a long build-up and then a huge scratch that hits in 3 parts, and with each part comboing into the next, and the third one being the big one that actually kills. With that setup, it's actually more likely to kill than like a falcon punch or a Ganon punch. For side B, I thought of this move where, well, for down B, I'm actually going to give her rest. Just Jigglypuff's rest. Because if there's anything a cat's good at, it's sleeping. So I'm gonna give her rest. And I'm also going to give her the same cat up B I did for Floof, except her Kotomi's is different from the fact that if you do it and hit like a wall, you latch onto the wall. Oh no, is my stream giving out? It looks like my stream's giving out on my end. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh, that's not good. Okay, no, my stream's back on. Okay. When Kotomi hits a wall with it, she'll latch onto the wall and jump off of it, and you can use it again if you need to. So overall, she has one of the better recoveries, depending on what stage you're playing on. Okay, and then what I have for her side B, I figured out everything else, but her side B would probably just be like a mobility option of like a sideways pounce. It doesn't do much as an attack unless you press it again, in which case it'll home on to who's ever closest. And kind of a pounce upward, and then it homes in on who's ever closest by. So overall, because of good mobility and just speed from being a cat, I'd say about here. Because rest is always good to have, and that has a good chance of killing when it shouldn't, especially with the speed and movement options. Okay, so the last one for right now, because my computer seems to be dying on me, is, well, both my computer and my voice are both dying on me. They're double teaming. Princess Kuna. Yep, that's how you say it. Now obviously the neutral B has to be a gun. It'll basically be Wolf's gun, with it being strong initial blast, but it wouldn't have the same like initial hitbox that Wolf's has, because when you take Wolf's gun out, it does damage, and then the laser does its own damage. But for this one, it would be just quick, one shot, and then she has to put it back, and that's well, no, she doesn't put it back. She gives it to a butler who then takes it back. She puts it onto a little butler throne. Her side B would be summoning a group of butlers to hoist her up like they're crawling along the ground, and she's riding on top of the crawling butlers. It would be a pretty slow side B, and it wouldn't be very good, but it would be very funny. Up B would be... does she have any magic? I don't think she does. I think she's just princess. Yeah, I don't see any lore that would help me with this. So I'm making up lore now. She has a private jet that only fits her. It's very small, and she can summon it around her. So that's her up B. It's a private gold jet that just kind of controls. You can control where it moves, and it lasts for a certain period of time until it runs out. Very good up B, because you can't really punish it except for when it ends. Ending it is the only time where you can punish it. And then for down B, mines. I think she would have a mine attack, where you place a mine and it goes off whenever someone goes over it. But she wouldn't place it. One of her butlers would come and place it. I think this would mostly be a character that revolves around her herself not doing anything, but instead having her legion of people do things for her. And overall, she wouldn't have great movement speed, so I think she'd be here. Yeah, I think this fits right. But we're halfway through the list, and yeah, I'm gonna have to call it here. I'll either be back in a few hours when my voice heals up, or tomorrow. I'm not sure which, but I'm definitely gonna finish the rest of this tier list, because this is incomplete so far. And we still got a lot of good characters coming up, like specifically Nina's I've already thought of a really good design for. Myself, obviously, I thought of a good design for. Moth, Sadako, Celine, Shep, Samire 1 and 2, I thought of a good design for. Cowboy, obviously. Like, I've got some good design ideas coming up in the next episode of this, so be ready when I make that. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say for now. I'm going to log off for the time being and be back hopefully today, probably tomorrow. I can hope. I can hope, please. I really need to get better at talking for long periods of time, but I'm guessing that as I do this more, I'll naturally get better at talking for longer and longer periods of time without just completely losing all sense of throat. Let me drink. And so, tell me what you think of the list so far. think I've got a good list so far. I should probably write some of these down so that I don't just forget like what their movesets are. Because there's some characters that I definitely won't forget the movesets for, like Chess over here. Like, I don't know why I went so hard with Chess. But there's definitely some movesets that I'm totally gonna forget in like 2 minutes. And thank you for coming, everyone, and I will see you all soon.